Good morning and welcome to today's class. Today we have to take the same chapter, that is thermal properties of matter, and today's turn is lecture 4. Today we have to discuss something related to very basics of thermal physics, that is specific heat capacity or molar heat capacity, etc, etc. Okay, let us take some of the things which are very important in the calculation part of or in the analytical part of qualitative part of our thermal physics. Okay, let us take first the specific heat. Specific heat, it is that amount of heat or energy which is required to raise the temperature of 1 degree, temperature of 1 gram of temperature of 1 gram of a substance to 1 degree Celsius. Now, specific heat of a substance it is that amount of heat or energy which is required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of substance through 1 degree Celsius. You can see that in previous lecture, in lecture 1 specially, we discussed the definition of calorie. Calorie is the unit of heat that we know, and there we discussed 1 calorie is that amount of heat which is required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water from 14.5 degree to 15.5 degrees Celsius. That was a specific range, although it is 1 degree Celsius, but that is for 1 gram of water. Now here specific heat of any substance. Any substance is that amount of heat which is required to raise its temperature, to raise the 1 gram of that substance, to raise the temperature of 1 gram of that substance by 1 degree Celsius. It is that amount of heat or energy which is required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of a substance through 1 degree Celsius. It is denoted by it is denoted by small c, and we write c equal to q upon m into delta t, m into delta t. Okay, and that is why unit of c is small c, of course, equal to calorie per gram per degree Celsius. This is the unit of this S unit of specific heat in CGS unit system. Okay, in CGS system we represent by this. In SI system, SI unit, we have only joule as the unit of all type of energy, including heat. Joule per kg minus 1, and it is Kelvin minus 1, because mostly we take Kelvin as our SI unit or temperature. This is what we have, the unit system of our specific heat. Or let us have its dimension. Let us have its dimension. Dimension of C equal to, this is your ml square T minus 2, and this is just m, this is your theta. M cancel out, we have L square T minus 2 theta minus 1. This is the dimensional formula for specific heat. Okay, and in that way we have determined that how we actually do the specific heat, and after knowing the specific heat we will discuss another thing that is called molar specific heat. अगर इसी को मैं मोलर स्पेसिफिक हीट में कह दूँ तो यह मास भी नहीं रहेगा, ओनली 1 मोल का मामला हो जाएगा, दैट वुड बी connected to 1 mole, and that will be highly useful, that will be highly useful in case of thermodynamics. Molar specific heat, it is your molar specific heat. Now how it is represented, we can say it is the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a substance to 1 degree Celsius. Here we will not define that it is the heat required to raise 1 gram of a substance through 1 degree Celsius, but rather वो हट जाएगा 1 ग्राम ऑफ सब्सटेंस हट गया और उसकी जगह क्या आ गया 1 मोल ऑफ सब्सटेंस. It is the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of substance. This is 1 mole of a substance. Okay, 1 mole of a substance, and 1 molar substance through 1 degree Celsius. It is the heat required, and it is represented by, it is denoted by capital C, and we write Q equal to capital C delta T, where Q is the heat given or heat taken, what we call heat transaction, whatever is made. This is your molar specific heat. Molar specific heat has two types. One is molar specific heat at constant volume, other is molar specific heat at constant pressure. C has two parts, Cp and Cv. Molar specific heat at constant pressure and molar specific heat at constant volume. We will not discuss these two terms because they are part of your thermodynamics. During the discussion of first law or second law of thermodynamics, we will discuss these quantities. Okay. After this, we have the heat capacity. Now let us take the heat capacity of a substance or heat capacity of a body. What is heat capacity? Heat capacity is that amount of heat which is required to raise the temperature of a body by 1 degree Celsius or through 1 degree Celsius. There is no mention of 1 gram of that body. If it is mentioned, then that could have been the specific heat. We have that we have already discussed, and we have also discussed molar specific heat. Now this is the definition of heat capacity. That is, the heat capacity of a body is that amount of heat which is required to raise its temperature through 1 degree. Why I have not mentioned through 1 degree Celsius or Kelvin? I tell you one thing. Because we take degree Celsius as well as Kelvin, both the things together in both the things in our experiments. When we take Kelvin, it is we deal with the SI system, and when we take degree Celsius, we can take anything, whether we take SI or CGS system. But I tell you one thing that is a very important thing, that degree Celsius is a very commonly used temperature term, temperature unit, and therefore we just write the generalized form, that is it is the heat required to raise the temperature of any substance through 1 degree Celsius is called heat capacity. It is denoted by S. It is equal to mc. Its unit must be calorie per degree Celsius. See, we have already said it is calorie per gram degrees Celsius. That was there, but here it is just calorie per degree Celsius or joule per Kelvin. Now, next is water equivalent. A water equivalent is widely used in the numerical problem. There, it is not a physical quantity, but it is just a some sort of parameter. You can tell. You can just say why it is a parameter. What is the reason behind that? It is a parameter. I tell you, it is in fact a system which we use in calculations of in the during longer calculation we may take water equivalent. The water equivalent of a body is that mass of which that mass of the body, that that mass of water which is required or which requires the same amount of heat as required by the given body. I am telling you, water equivalent of a body is that amount of mass of water. That amount of is that mass of water which is required, which is required by the body to raise its temperature through the same degree temperature. I am again just recalling what is written over here. Water equivalent of a body is that mass of water. ये mass है. ये वाटर इक्विवेलेंट किसी बॉडी का वो मास है जो कि जितना हीट वो लेता है 1 डिग्री सेल्सियस गर्म करने में या 5 डिग्री सेल्सियस गर्म करने में, उतना ही इक्विवेलेंट वाटर अगर उतना ही हीट ले और वो भी 1 डिग्री सेल्सियस या 5 डिग्री सेल्सियस बढ़ाने में खर्च करे. वाटर के लिए हीट कितना होता है? हीट इक्वल टू एम सी डेल्टा टी. तो ये उसका मास इक्विवेलेंट होगा. अगर ये हीट गर्म करने में लगता है, मान लीजिए किसी बॉडी पी को गर्म करने के लिए आपको हीट चाहिए क्यूबी, यू नीड क्यूबी, ओके, एंड टेम्परेचर कितना रेज करना होता है? डेल्टा टी. तो आप क्यूबी इक्वल निकालेंगे मास ऑफ दैट बॉडी इंटू सी इंटू डेल्टा टी बी. अब वाटर इक्विवेलेंट जब हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे, व्हेन वी डिस्कस वाटर इक्विवेलेंट, देन रिमेंबर, suppose we don't know the specific heat of this body, we don't know the exact mass, but if we know the water equivalent, then remember, for water equivalent, suppose we take it as W, and water equivalent of this substance will be same as that mass of water which takes the same amount of heat to raise the same amount of heat temperature. ये amount of water ये मालूम है. तो if we just divide these two things, what we can determine, what we can get this W equal to mv into c. mv into c. Remember the water equivalent में क्या हो जाएगा, ये जो water equivalent आप देख रहे हैं, why we always consider this specific heat of water equivalent to 1. Remember here we have already considered the equivalent the specific heat of water equal to 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. Therefore, we can have W1 delta T, delta V. तो यहाँ पर भी W इंटू 1 की जगह हम लोग 1 इंटू डब्ल्यू इक्वल टू एम डी सी ये लिखा है. तो इन जनरल क्या होगा, इट इज द मास ऑफ द बॉडी एंड इट इज द स्पेसिफिक हीट ऑफ दैट बॉडी. So product of mass into specific heat of body is equivalent to water equivalent of that substance. I am again repeating. Water equivalent of a substance of a body is that mass of water. That mass of water which requires the same amount of heat. Which requires the same amount of heat to raise the same amount of temperature. To raise the same temperature. Which requires the same amount of heat as it requires by the given body for the same rise of temperature. एक ही टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज करने के लिए मान लीजिए एक बॉडी ए है, ओके, इसका टेम्परेचर, इसका मास हमको नहीं मालूम, वी डोंट नो इट्स मास, बट वी नो दैट 40 कैलोरी जूल इज नीडेड टू रेज इट्स टेम्परेचर बाय 4 डिग्री सेल्सियस. I am just repeating what I am discussing right now. Suppose for a given body, example, for a given body, (40 calorie is needed to raise its temperature by 5 degrees Celsius. ध्यान दीजिएगा, ये लिखा हुआ है. For a given body, 40 calorie is needed to raise its temperature by 5 degrees Celsius. ठीक है, इस बॉडी का. तो वाटर इक्विवेलेंट क्या हुआ, वाटर इक्विवेलेंट को भी 40 ग्राम, वाटर इक्विवेलेंट वो मास है पानी का विच ऑल्सो टेक्स 40 कैलोरी ऑफ हीट टू रेज इट्स टेम्परेचर बाय 5 डिग्री सेल्सियस. ये वाटर इक्विवेलेंट ऑफ ए बॉडी इज, रिमेंबर, इज द मास ऑफ वाटर रिक्वायर्स टू raise its temperature by the same amount of heat. Okay, that means whatever heat that is required to raise the given body to raise its temperature by any temperature variation, any temperature difference, the same difference is required by a specific amount of water when the same amount of heat is given to water. अगर वाटर को भी ये 40 कैलोरी का जूल एनर्जी दे दिया जाए तो वाटर के लिए क्या हो जाएगा, इसका संबंधित वाटर इक्विवेलेंट डब्ल्यू दे रखा है और इसका जो है स्पेसिफिक हीट 1 कैलोरी पर ग्राम होता है और सेम डिग्री सेल्सियस दे दिया गया 5 डिग्री सेल्सियस एंड हियर इट इज अगेन द 40 therefore water equivalent will be equal to 40/5. तो इससे हम लोग निकाल सकते हैं कि किसी भी सब्सटेंस का वाटर इक्विवेलेंट क्या होता है. तो वाटर इक्विवेलेंट हमने क्या बताया, दिस इज द अमाउंट ऑफ हीट क्यू बी रिक्वायर्ड टू रेज द टेम्परेचर ऑफ बॉडी बी टू डेल्टा टीवी. तो ये उसी अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर, मैंने कहा कि वाटर इक्विवेलेंट इज दैट अमाउंट ऑफ मास which is required which requires the same amount of heat QB to raise its temperature by the same amount delta T. तो सब चीज सेम हो जाता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली इन दोनों को इक्वल कर देंगे तो वी गेट दिस इज वाटर इक्वल टू MB into CB, mass of the body into this. but since it is also having the same unit, and therefore C has nothing to do, and therefore its unit is only kg. Its unit is only kg or gram. Unit of water equivalent. Unit of water equivalent is kg or gram. Okay. Now, after knowing this thing, then we must know what is calorimetry. The next topic is our calorimetry. As the name implies, it comes from calorie. Calorie is the unit of heat, and calorimetry means it is in fact whenever there is a heat transaction between two bodies. Whenever the heat transaction between two bodies, one is hot, other is cold, then there is always the reason that someone could lose its energy or heat, and someone could gain the energy. This is what we call the principle of calorimetry. I am again telling you that suppose you are having two bodies taken in contact. Two bodies taken in contact, it is not any other conduction or anything else, but rather we can just tell you. Suppose it is a hot oil, it is a hot oil or any liquid, hot oil or liquid, and here we place a cold object. Cold object. When this is placed in this hot object, then what will happen? Naturally, it will raise its temperature and it will lose its temperature. इसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ जाता है और इसका टेम्परेचर कम हो जाता है. That means it will have a tendency to acquire heat and it will have a tendency to refuse the heat, to release the heat. तो क्या हो जाएगा? One will lose the heat, other will gain the heat, and that we call that heat loss is equal to heat gain. Heat loss equal to heat gain. This is what we call the principle of calorimetry. Okay. And now when we discuss principle of calorimetry, yes, what you say? When we discuss the principle of calorimetry, I must tell you one thing that it is generally held. It is calorimetry itself is that branch of physics, that branch of thermal physics, which deal with the measurement of heat. Remember, it is that branch of heat, that branch of thermal physics, which deals with which has a tendency to which has capacity to in fact discuss all such method by which heat can be measured. तो ये हीट मेजर करने का फिजिक्स है, हीट मेजर करने का थर्मल फिजिक्स का ब्रांच है. It is that branch of thermal physics by which we can determine, we can measure the heat. Okay, and therefore we have just said that we are having one utensil filled with hot air or hot oil or hot any liquid, and we have a cold cubical point, cubical object. When it is placed inside, when it is placed inside, then what will happen? This will gain heat and this will lose heat, and therefore we can say heat lost equal to heat gain. Okay, and heat lost by the hot body, hot object, and heat gained by the cold object. Okay, now when we say this calorimetry, if we don't show anything related to calorimeter, it is really quite abnormal thing. Let us show that what is calorimeter actually looks like, and we can just give you the exact calorimeter. It is the measurement, it is a device, it is a measuring instrument of heat. We can have one cylinder that is filled with some liquid, water or any oil, and it is placed in a wooden frame. It is placed in a wooden frame which is totally insulated. Okay, and now we can use a stirrer to allow the increase in temperature or decrease in temperature uniformly, and one thermometer is also used, a Celsius thermometer, to check the temperature of the decreasing temperature of the hot body, because there is already some hot oil is hot oil or hot liquid is placed over here, and then we take that initial temperature, it is very high, say for 100 degree 80 degree like that, and with the gradually with the change of time it will gradually fall down, and that we measure this. This is actually part of your Newton's cooling curve experiment, and that will be discussed in the experimental part of the subject. But let us see what is a calorimeter. This is a calorimeter, as you can just observe, and this is totally, in fact, a wooden object, and this is the place. This is the utensil which has such oil or some object is placed over here, and by this we place it, and we always keep a hot object, hot oil or water in it, and this is the stirrer by which we can just change, we can keep the uniform change in the temperature, and this is how we place thermometer over here. A thermometer, it is placed over here to check the exact change in temperature, exact decrease in temperature, and we always measure it by means of a stopwatch. With one complete round, 1 minute is completed. It is a natural stopwatch, and we can just see that how much temperature is reduced in this oily substance, this hot object. Okay, and this is what we have, this calorimeter, and this is part of your calorimetry. Here we can see that heat is lost by the surrounding, because surrounding sorry, the heat lost by the hot object here, and the surrounding is heated. इसका रेडिएशन आसपास भी पहुंच जाता है, जो कि हम लोग रेडिएशन वाले पोर्शन में देखेंगे. राइट नाउ इट इज नॉट रेडिएशन, बट we are not discussing any transmission of heat, but here from now onwards we are measuring the heat. How we measure the heat, that we have said, that is by using such instruments we can even calculate the heat gain and heat loss the system. Okay, and with that we have completed today's lecture. In next lecture we will discuss the change of state, that is latent heat, and other thing like the different modes of heat transmission. And with that we have completed today, and the next lecture we will definitely take the latent heat term. Okay, thank you.